All right. And so I'm here with Jamie Royce of MindCloud. And Jamie, we have um, had a long association with MindCloud, and we're really excited about seeing what the platform can do today. But I wanted to know if you might be able to share with us and for our viewers a little bit about the origin story of MindCloud. So there's a lot of competition in the NetSuite integration platform space. And what really drove you to create a new integration platform?
Great. Well, first of all, thanks for having me. Appreciate everything, Paul. And yeah, to start off, I've always had the goal of simplifying complex technology and making it accessible to people. Ever since I've been a kid, I've been fascinated with technology. I mentioned I had the teary-eyed moment the first time I saw and put my fingers on a Commodore 64 and then quickly upgraded to the 128 and typed my first line. Everything was, you'd have to type it in to run things. So I was playing Jumpman on the Commodore 64 and had to type a command and make it do something. And it was just fascinating that you could give instructions and have something else run on your instructions. And fast forward to the corporate world.
Did you ever use CPM on your 128, Jamie?
No, I did not. I was 8, so wasn't yet up to that. But
and how do you really work, Jamie, to differentiate MindCloud from a Jitterbit or a Celigo or one of those platforms that's really well established in the NetSuite space? What sets MindCloud apart?
Yeah, MindCloud is taking away the complexities from our end users so they can accomplish what they want as a business owner or a head of product. They don't want to deal with the headaches of integrations. A Celigo or a Jitterbit integration can be very complex, and the product owners don't necessarily want to deal with how to set up an ETL process with the mappings and the authentications and knowing whether it's OAuth 2 or some other type of connectivity. And when it breaks, who do you go to fix it? Like these are problems that are not something that MindCloud wants to push on to our clients. The thing that differentiates us is our platform was built on very modern technology. When we met with our friends at some of our competitor companies, admittedly stating that their platforms were about a decade in the past compared to where we're at. If Boomi was the iPaaS 1.0 and Celigo was iPaaS 2.0, we've been dubbed iPaaS 3.0 from their own mouths. And that's what has made it possible to be extremely agile, spend more time on the customer support, the implementation, the professional services piece, which our competitors all charge extra line items to service the customers. They'll charge a license fee, annual fee to use the platform based on the number of connectors and data flows. But then if you want to have the actual integrations built and maintained, you'd either have to pay internal staff or hire a Workato or a Celigo implementation specialist to build, set up, and maintain it for you. And then if there's not already a pre-built connector, you're paying to build those custom connectors. MindCloud consumes all of that into a simple, transparent annual fee that the end user knows we've got this. They don't need to have the headache of dealing with integrations and the continuously increasing annual fees, which I know one of our competitors just increased by 150% last year to this year. And that is not the way the market needs. They don't need that with everything that's happening with the economy. We need to have the prices lower, not continuously increasing for the same service. MindCloud offers more service, more flexibility, more control for the same or less price than what our competitors are charging. So that's the high level differences.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, Jamie. And can you talk a little bit beyond differentiating factors and some of the more established players in the space? Can you talk a little bit about why, for the NetSuite market, for merchants that are running NetSuite, maybe with an e-commerce platform, perhaps Shopify or BigCommerce, and maybe NetSuite's own Suite Commerce as a customer-facing web store for maybe both B2C and B2B. How does MindCloud really enable all of those merchants to really deliver value to their customers through integrations? Why is now the time for MindCloud for NetSuite merchants?
Well, we've been driven by our e-commerce module from day one. It's been customer driven. What are the needs of our biggest customers? That's how we've built out our products. And NetSuite is traditionally a very customized implementation from customer to customer. It's not a HubSpot where it's almost identical and most customers are using the same thing. So the APIs are the same, the connectors are the same, and it's easily predictable to be a cookie cutter process. With NetSuite, almost everyone has a custom module or custom fields, or we have to use a special process in order to do what they need. And being agile and being so modern facing, we're able to be flexible and treat a NetSuite implementation almost the same as a pre-built connector, because we've already experienced all the differences and account for that as part of our implementation process. We're part of NetSuite's beta program for using, we use all their REST APIs and have our own servlets and things that we can control to get around the traditional pigeonhole that you can get using their earlier versions. We try to stay modern in terms of the latest available resources and get those implemented. And all of those type of things enable us to be light-footed, quick to pivot where needed, and keep our costs low. But that's for a NetSuite integration. We found it, we have to support that flexibility. We can't treat one NetSuite user and think it's going to be the same as everyone.
That's great, Jamie, and I think that that's a great point. It really gets back into the flexibility of the platform, and great to know that you've leveraged those cutting-edge REST APIs that our developers really love to work with. So, Jamie, that's fantastic, and thank you for giving us that background on MindCloud. And now I think, without any further ado, I know that our viewers and our audience are really want to take a look at what you have to present in terms of MindCloud.
Awesome. Well, I will share my screen and pull up a presentation here. All right, great. So I'll just walk you through some of the high level points on what is MindCloud. So MindCloud is a cutting edge integration platform that makes it fast and efficient to integrate software from one platform to another. Due to us being so cutting edge, using the latest technology, our price is much more affordable, and we're able to utilize custom data flows and custom integrations almost the same way that a standard plugin from our competitors would be treated. So that makes this technology accessible to businesses of all sizes. One of the goals when I started MindCloud in the early days was to democratize this amazing technology and make it available to small and medium-sized businesses, the same capabilities that the big enterprise customers were utilizing. Small and medium-sized business owners weren't able to, due to just the cost prohibitive nature of the other alternatives. So that's why it was created, and that's why customers choose MindCloud. The common pain points that we're finding and that we solve, the modern business owner are using 10 plus different software platforms, and they often don't talk to each other. They're data siloed. They're resulting in a lot of manual data entry, copying and pasting from one system to the next. And as technology advances, more and more apps that are specialized to do one specific thing are going to be popping out, and companies want to use those apps. If they don't all talk to each other, it's just going to create more and more siloed platforms across companies, which really lends to MindCloud and what we solve. Technology will, if you don't modernize your platform, it will limit your growth. Southwest Airlines is a great example. They were operating on 30 or 40 year ago technology for their entire way that they routed their resources. When their competitors modernized and they didn't, they got hit last year with a massive PR fiasco where millions of people weren't able to get on their flights because of a technology problem. So we're very heavy on pushing our customers to modernize and constantly stay cutting edge with their own platforms and their own technologies. Integration platforms are generally too complicated and too complex for your average business user. So they require having a special trained person to set up and maintain. Even simple platforms like Zapier, they're constantly breaking, the zaps are disconnecting. And if you don't have someone on staff who knows how to set up a proper workflow and connect things and authenticate things properly, even simple integration platforms like Zapier could get too complicated and too complex, just resulting in people not actually taking advantage of them eventually. And the biggest other common pain point is bad experience with prior software projects. Recent example, we had a customer switch over from Jitterbit, where the mapping of a simple flow from Salesforce to Sage 100 got so complex. When we took over the project, the screen was filled, like it was like someone dumped a bowl of spaghetti on the screen. There were so many lines going all over the place with different mappings and custom processes, and it got so complex. I don't know how anybody would have maintained that. So that's another example, just bad implementations on former software projects, where it usually results in budgets being majorly exceeded as a result of the complexity. MindCloud is different because we are more advanced technologically under the hood. And I mentioned earlier, when compared with Boomi and Celigo, MindCloud is considered to be iPaaS 3.0 if the others are iPaaS 2.0 and 1.0. Our average go live time is 2 to 4 weeks. This is pretty much unheard of in the integration platform space. Our competitors are taking an average of 3 months for a very similar integration project. We're getting these done, even if it's a completely custom flow, in an average of 2 to 4 weeks. Some of our customers are seeing even within 7 days to 10 days. We provide a white glove integration solution. We don't give you the keys and say, over to you, go build your own. We actually, as part of our fee, take that complexity and scope the project. We build it for you and we maintain it for you on an annual basis. So you don't need to deal with it if something breaks. If you have a change of requirements, you want to customize something, that's built into our maintenance program. So one fee, one annual fee, you're not going to get hit with hidden costs, and our prices are remaining competitive even with all those services. Some of our popular integrations, as you mentioned earlier, NetSuite is very popular. We're constantly increasing the pre-built connectors that we offer, but the speed at which we're able to set up a brand new connector is almost the same as it takes to use a pre-built connector. So an example, last week, we added Xero because one of our customers wanted to connect a platform called JetBuilt to Xero. And we've already built to QuickBooks integrations many times over. This customer, when we added it, it took a total of 7 working days to develop, build, and implement a new Zero connector. And now that's available for anybody else to use. But that's an example. It took just as long as it would have taken to use an existing one. We're adding new connectors every week. It's customer driven. So what our customers need, that's what we've built. And that's why you see the ones on the screen. These are the ones that are the most popular that customers have asked for. And that's the only reason we only have 100 plus pre-built connectors to this day. And you'll see if you look at any of our reviews on SourceForge or Google, our most common review is speaking to our customer service, and we really try to be a part of your team and treat your business like it's our business. And that's something that we really value and are proud of our 5-star rating on SourceForge. And we want to continue that level of service even while we scale. So that's our goal, is to take what we have right now and bring that technology to help a lot more customers, especially people that are dealing with NetSuite, which we've been able to be really successful at and deal with. So that's a quick overview. I don't really have any other slides to go over here. So I'll stop sharing there.
So, Jamie, that was fantastic, and really exciting to see all of the different networks and applications that MindCloud can really integrate with. There's a lot of networks and applications that I saw on the list that are really kind of new to the NetSuite market, and so that's very exciting. In conclusion, if you could just kind of say a few words about add a little additional color around your white glove service and how you work with agencies like SCG Team, like Sieber Consulting Group. So when you're working with a client, and working with an agency that is familiar with MindCloud, has performed some integrations, and just talk a little bit about what the implementation looks like from the client side. So MindCloud implementation, and then some of that post-implementation support. Just if you could kind of conclude with that, that would be great.
For sure. So very importantly is our sales team are trained on how to gather requirements right from the outset. So during our initial calls, we're able to scope out, understand the data flows, the connectors that are involved, and be able to give a estimate, usually within the first call, which is a bit unheard of. I know some of our closest competitors are still working on providing quotes to some people that we've already started doing work for. So the most important is to be very fast and responsive in our initial calls. So it's very transparent. We try to give an idea of the timeframes and the cost in our initial calls. We break it down to connectors and data flows. So how many different connections are we going to need to build into this platform? How many data flows where data is going to go from one place to another? We try to keep things as simple as possible. And I always say we're dealing in ones and zeros. So it doesn't really matter what the data is. We just need to know, where do we get them from? Where do we put them? What needs to happen in the middle? So if we can define that clearly and gather that data right away, we're able to keep the costs very transparent. Turn around the proposal. Usually we'll have a 50% deposit when we start and a 50% when we complete the project. And that is the annual fee. Our current lead time is about 2 weeks to get scheduled onto our calendar. And from there, it's about 2 to 4 weeks total build time to whatever the data flows and connectors are. Generally takes 2 to 4 weeks from that point. Then we move on to the user testing. So in that period, we would have set up all the data flows, done all of our development phase, and we go into user testing. User testing can take anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks, where we ask the customer to verify each of the data flows, during which time we'll be tweaking anything, customizing anything that was not clearly defined in the outset. Once that user testing is done, we go into our maintenance mode. That usually is, from then on out, just stays in maintenance. We include 3 hours a month for each customer. For any additional customization, development time that was something that they want added or was not thought of originally, or just tweaks or adjustments to the integration, we don't bill additional hours for that. Most of our customers are within that 3-hour threshold for things that they need, but we don't want to have hidden costs just pop up to our customers. So we built that into our contracts, and that usually is ongoing. We've had customers with us since day one, 3 years ago when we built our first integration for a customer. We're still managing those. We have a very, very low churn rate year to year, and we're counting on a long-term relationship. And to do that, the priorities are the white glove service. We have a 24-hour access to our developer team, from the person assigned to the case through to our CTO, all the way up to me if needed. And technologically, I'm capable of building, debugging, maintaining any of the integrations that are done from my company. So the buck stops here, and I want all of our customers to keep having that warm and fuzzy feeling with us. So I do my best to keep that with all of our customers. So we have a 24-hour response time on new tickets, issues, bugs, anything that needs to be changed. We'll get back to you within 24 hours. And if it's urgent, you have our direct accessibility through phone, email, Slack groups, whatever method you need to have that accessibility. That's another key important factor for us. But that's a high level from start all the way through to our ongoing maintenance for our customers.
That's outstanding, Jamie. A truly white glove service level agreement, and a lot of value there, particularly in that post support phase. So that's fantastic to know. In closing, Jamie, our viewers and people that are interested in using MindCloud to integrate these applications and platforms, so particularly into their NetSuite environments, certainly they can talk with us here at SCG Team, Siebert Consulting Group. But where else can companies go to find out more information about MindCloud? What's the best way to find out more information? Your website, and what's the best way to contact you guys?
Yeah, we have mindcloud.co is our website. Right on the homepage is book a free consultation, where we will schedule a call that goes straight into our team calendar. So you'll see the availability right away, be able to book a call. And right from there, we'll scope it out and be able to give you an estimate right away, either on that call or within 24 hours afterwards. So that's the best way. We'd like to have any inquiries, any people that are interested to head to our website. Again, that's mindcloud.co, and go ahead and book a free consultation right on there.
That's great. All right, Jamie. Well, thank you so much for taking us into the ins and outs of MindCloud. And certainly we look forward to hearing from you in the future on the latest developments that you guys have going on at MindCloud. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much, Paul. Appreciate it.
When you need NetSuite, who do you call? SCG will take care of it all. When you need Shopify, who do you call? SCG will take care of it all.